Hello guys, so today we are working with the first part of Unit 11. Unit 11 it's called Rite of Passage, and in here we are going to discuss life events and milestones and describe regrets and hypothetical situations. Basically, a milestone is something that you achieve in your life. For example, when you get your first house, when you get your first job, these are important things, important events in your life. And this is basically what this unit is about, to talk about us growing up and how we have changed, to discussing our life events, our milestones, regrets. I think are things that you wish you didn't do in the past, and then hypothetical situations are things that you imagine, like imaginary situations that we put ourselves into. So we have the snapshot, we have unforgettable firsts, some moments that matter. So in here we have some milestones, basically moments that matter. Our first sleepover, which was the first time that you went to a friend's house to sleep there, and you stayed there, maybe just you or maybe with some other friends. It was actually really fun to do that. Losing your first tooth, I bet some of us do remember that. Your first day at school, your first pet, your first swim in the ocean, your first crush, which is basically the first person you had a crush with that you kind of like when we were younger, your first trip with friends, your high school graduation, your first paycheck. So basically, for example, when you got your first job, when you got into university, getting your driver's license, entering college, your first heartbreak, like the first time you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and just let's say your first party, and some other firsts that we have on our lives that are basically unforgettable and that matter to us. So basically, let's get into the grammar for today. We have time clauses. So in here, of course, I have some other information for the grammar. So we have time clauses with examples. So these are called conjunctions. These ones that you see in here: before, after, once, the moment, as soon as, until or until, by the time, and then we have some others in here with their examples. So we have conjunctions: when. So when refers basically to the exact moment of something happening. Let's cross the bridge when we come to it. So let's eat when we get home. So we're gonna do that in that specific time, when. While we use it to talk about two actions happening at the same time. We'll keep on driving while there's still daylight. You were cooking while I was teaching. As soon as, it means that something is going to happen in the very specific moment when another action happens. So the baby can cry as soon as he is born. So first he's gonna be born, and then after he's born, at that same moment, as soon as he's born, he can cry. So we can say, for example, I'm gonna go to my classes as soon as you get home. So basically, I'm saying that the moment that you get home, I'm leaving, I'm going to my classes. That's what we use as soon as. We use after for the future of an action. For example, after I had finished my homework, I went to bed. So basically, for example, I did my homework after the class was finished. So basically I'm saying that an action is going to happen in the future of another action. I'm going to do my homework after the class is finished. So first the class is going to be finished, then I'm going to do my homework. Then before, it's the opposite. This is the past of an action. So basically in here we have don't count your chickens before they are hatched. This is just something that they say in English, basically saying that don't count your chickens before they are ready. But you can use it for anything, like I'm going to wash the clothes before starting the class. So basically I'm going to wash my clothes first and then I'm going to start the class. So after is for the future, before is for the past. Then we have until. Until means to this point. For example, we played cards to kill time until the bus came. Or I stayed in class until the electricity went off. So I'm just saying that indicating on this point something happened. We played cards to kill time until the bus came. We have whenever. So it just means at any time. At any time. Always lock your car whenever you leave it. Always say present whenever you come into the class. So whenever you come back home, bring dinner. So I'm just saying that at any time, whenever that happens, do this action. We have once. Making an omelette is easy once you've got the knack. So once is basically when you get this. So again, it's just like up until this point. Once I get home, I'm going to cook dinner. So when this action happens, as soon is very similar to as soon as. So as soon as this action happens, I'm going to do this other action. Once I get home, I'm going to cook dinner. Once you arrive home, you need to clean the dishes. So basically I'm just saying that as soon as this happens, they are very similar. This is going to happen. Making an omelette is easy once you've got the knack. So once you learn, it's gonna be easy for you. Once you learn English, speaking fast is easy. English grammar is easy once you learn how to speak. And things similar to that. We have as. Dad looked sad and worried as he read the letter. So basically I am just indicating that an action is happening. Dad looked sad and worried as he read the letter. So he was basically reading the letter and he was looking sad. So these two actions were happening at the same time. We have since. We have talked about since. So Susan has changed a lot since I last saw her. So since this point, for example, if I saw her in 2018, so I can say that Susan has changed since 2018, which is when I last saw her. So since is just to indicate basically the last time something happened. Susan has changed a lot since I last saw her. I haven't eaten ice cream since 2018, basically. We have by the time. So this is just to indicate again another point in time. By the time she was 8, she could read Greek and Latin. So by the time I arrived home, the kitchen was clean. By the time you came home, or by the time you arrived home, the dinner was ready. So I'm just saying that up until this point, indicating by the time she was 8, so when she was 8, basically, she could read Greek and Latin. These ones, when, by the time, are very similar. Till is going to be basically the same as until, so he'll keep the book for me till I come back. So an action is going to happen until one point, like to one point, because then another action is going to happen. So he'll keep the book for me till I come back. We play cards to kill time until the boss came. I'm gonna be here until you come home. I'm going to watch your cat till you get back to Santo Domingo. Then we have every time, which is just, I bet you know that, is every time I ask him out, I get a different answer. So every time is just that an action happens repeatedly and it happens the same. Every time I ask him out, I get a different answer. Every time I go to my grandma's house, she feeds me dinner. So I'm just saying that an action is being repeated the same or equal. This is the same we have in the book. We have before I graduated from high school, I had never worked. So as you can see, if the time clause is at the beginning of the sentence, you need to say before I graduated from high school, you need to say your clause. If you see that the conjunction is at the beginning of the sentence, and then after the time clause you put a comma, I had never worked. But for example, if you don't put the conjunction at the beginning, like in here, let's cross the bridge, when we come to it, then you don't have to put a comma. Let's come to it. Let's cross the bridge when we come to it. But for example, if I want to put this at the beginning, when we come to it, comma, let's cross the bridge. This is what we have in here. After I graduated, comma, I went to Alaska to work as a fisherman. Once I moved away from home, I learned to take care of myself. So this happened once. So once you get home, once I moved away, so the moment I moved away from home, I learned to take care of myself. After I graduated, basically first I graduated and then in the future I went to Alaska to work as a fisherman. Before is for the past, as I said. The moment, so the specific moment, the moment I move away from home, I felt like a different person. It could be the same. Once I move away from home, I felt like a different person. Or also as soon as I got my own bank account, I started to be more responsible. You can say the moment I got my own bank account, I started to be more responsible. Or once I got my own bank account, I started to be more responsible. They are very similar. Until I moved to Alaska, I had never been away from home. By the time I went to college, I had already lived away from home. So I'm just saying that until this point, again, until I moved to Alaska, I had never been away from home. And then by the time, which is on this specific time, I went to college. So basically when I went to college, by the time I went to college, I had already lived away from home. And again, if your time clause is at the beginning of the sentence, you're gonna use a comma. If it's at the end of the sentence, you could say, for example, I had never worked before I graduated high school without putting a comma. Well, and then basically this is what we have. Now you guys please complete this exercise in which you need to match the clauses in column A with the appropriate information in column B. This is very, very easy. I'm just gonna put it here, and guys, this is it for the time clauses grammar for today. I hope you guys understood. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next class. Bye-bye.